Hi guys, welcome to today's video, and in today's video I would like to respond to James White, who had a debate with Dr. Michael Brown, and it was over predestination, and the question was, for whom did Christ die? Now, later on in the debate, around an hour and 11 minutes, 16 seconds or so, James White responds to a question about infants and predestination. And I'm going to allow you to listen to this audio recording of James White, and then I'm going to talk about it after this.
And so the question then becomes, what about the person who dies? Think about this. If you simply, as many people do, simply say, I don't care who it is, it doesn't matter, they must go to heaven, that's it. You're saying that abortion is one of the greatest heaven-filling devices ever devised by man. And think about that for just a second. My confession of faith says that elect infants. Who are they? I don't know. Is that all of them? I don't know. God has the exact same level of freedom in graciously electing adults as he has in this area as well. And fundamentally, I go, the judge of earth will do right. And certainly many of the reformers said, well, all infants who die in infancy will go to heaven. Okay. They weren't living a day like we're living in, where that could have incredible meaning and ramification.
Okay, so you listened to the audio recording just now by James White in his debate with Dr. Michael Brown on predestination. For whom did Christ die? And you heard his remarks of how he basically was charging people with this idea that if you think that all babies go to heaven, then abortion is one of the greatest things ever, because abortion would mean that all of those infants are going immediately to heaven. So that is a wonderful, great thing he's basically charging us with. Now, I will say that I don't believe that James White is saying that abortion is a good thing, but that he's charging the opposing view, or the person that he's responding to, that they are then, or that they would have to conclude, therefore, that abortion is a good thing. However, I am not a Calvinist, and James White is a Calvinist. And for him to charge me and others with this idea that if we hold to the belief that infants go to heaven when they die, that somehow makes abortion a good thing for those women who choose to have abortion, is very unfair in what he is saying. Because first of all, let's think about this. While it is true, and there's a very good evidence that the Bible suggests that infants will go to heaven, we would absolutely conclude that abortion is murder and that it is wrong. Even if that meant that those babies were going to heaven, that doesn't make abortion good. That just shows the grace and love of God on those infants. However, James White, holding to the Calvinistic view, would have to intellectually be honest with the people that he's speaking to by having them understand that if you hold to a view of predestination of individuals, that likewise the ones that are not predestinated to go to heaven are damned to hell. And I certainly don't hold that view as a professing Bible-believing Christian. I believe that when Jesus died on that cross, that he tasted death for every man, and that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. That the world is everyone, and that God invites everybody to believe in him, and we have that ability to either choose or to reject him. And so this, it's kind of like he's painting this picture in a sense that, yeah, if you believe that all infants go to heaven, then therefore it would be a great thing then to then to abort babies, because then they would automatically get a pass to heaven, which is absurd. It's absolutely absurd, because the person committing the abortion is not being addressed in what he is saying. Okay, the person committing the abortion is committing murder, and murder is a sin, and God hates sin, and that is something that I think needs to be considered by what he has said. And I think that it is very unfair for him to say, or to pose this question to those people. Think about this, that if you think all infants are going to heaven, then therefore abortion must be good. I think that is just, illogical and an unfair question to pose to those other people. However, as someone that doesn't hold to those Calvinistic positions, I have an easy answer to James White, and I will say it again, and that is simply that it is a demonstration of God's love and mercy that those infants would go to heaven. But yet we would abhor, and we would be very sad and grieved that women would abort them. We certainly would never say anything good about abortion, and to make that conclusion is very illogical, because saying that abortion is good because babies go to heaven, or that that's a good vehicle to get babies to heaven, is absurd. That is completely absurd. So I don't understand how he would even try to use that as an argument. I think that's a very poor argument, and I think that it just, again, shows that he doesn't understand the depth of God's love and mercy and grace upon mankind. And I think that it's hard for Calvinists to understand that. So, just something that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm certainly holding to biblical truth of what it says. I don't need to believe, in John Calvin. I don't need to believe in Jacob Arminius. I can simply believe what the Bible says. And I think it's very clear from Genesis to Revelation, as Dr. Michael Brown has stated over and over again about all of these different topics. So with that, let me know what you guys think about, the comments that James White made there. And I think that, maybe this was something that went, maybe unnoticed, because I didn't see a response to this in the debate. And I don't know if anybody else picked up on this or caught this. So I'm sure James White is a very nice fellow. I'm sure that, he does a lot of great, wonderful work for the Lord and everything. However, I strongly disagree with what he said there about, concluding that abortion is one of the greatest tools ever because it sends babies automatically to heaven. I would completely disagree with that, and in fact say that no, abortion is a horrible sin, it's murder, and that the only reason that infants would go to heaven isn't because they were predestined as individuals before the foundation of a world, but rather because of God's love and mercy and grace. So, with that, thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe.